Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever I actually end up uploading this. Beautiful morning outside. I don't know where else the morning would be. The parents are gone. I've got free range of the kitchen. Yeah, and it's only 10:40 a.m. So I'm going to make myself a mug cake. Join me on this baking adventure. I've been watching a lot of Bake Off. I don't know what my mood is today, but it's good. We're going to look at ingredients. So, flour, cacao powder, baking powder, granulated sugar, salt, malt, oil, secret ingredient, Nutella. Gonna add some chocolate chips. I'm following a basic chocolate mug cake recipe here, but also I like to make things very fancy. So once we make the basic mug cake here, I'm going to add a ton of fancy stuff and it's gonna be great. And you're gonna be like, wow. I seriously don't know what my mood is. I only woke up like an hour ago and I'm very much still waking up. That's what I need. Okay, we're gonna do a mini beverage section of the baking show. Okay, so first you're gonna grab a nice tall glass, fill it almost all with some ice, grab yourself some cold brew, homemade or store-bought is just fine, and then you fill it up about 2/3 of the way, and then you grab some vanilla oat milk or regular oat milk, whatever you prefer in your oats, and you fill it up the other third and lob up. Beauty. Should not have slammed that down, that's glass. I want to grab something to stir it. I don't actually have a stir, so we're gonna improvise with a metal chopstick because... And then bing boom. Got yourself a nice cold brew. Alright, now we're ready. So, the trick for a fancy mug cake is that you want to try and get a nice wide mug. Wide mug means bigger spread, which means more room for toppings, and that's what we're going for. I have never snapped that well before in my life. Oh my god. Got so much energy. So first we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of flour. Fun fact, almost 90% of the time, our 1/4 cups just disappear into the void. Don't know where they come from. Don't know where they go. Going to use some Hershey's cocoa powder strip. Tablespoons, and then we're gonna drop another, so I should have just said 2 tablespoons. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of this. We're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and from what I know, I believe this is just what helps activate everything. I don't actually know what baking powder does. I think it just, because it doesn't taste good, so I wouldn't imagine it's anything to do with the flavor. What does it do? I should really learn what this does. I'm getting near my 20s now. I need to figure out what baking powder does. Add 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. 1. It's kind of a lot of sugar. Gotta grab some more equipment. Gotta grab an 1/8 teaspoon. Look how tiny it is. Look at that.
Hello.
So tiny. Drop this in, and then from here, I believe we're supposed to just kind of mix it all together. Because from what I can sort of tell right now, it's all just a big mess of dry ingredients, but this should help incorporate it. Baking for me is something that is it's a very therapeutic experience. It's I don't know, it's just something that's nice to do. I guess usually I do it by myself, but like what's not to love about baking, you know? You put on some music, you listen to your favorite songs. As much as I'm sort of letting out all this energy and all these thoughts onto the camera right now, this is not just for show. I do actually act like this most of the time when I bake, and if not out loud, definitely in here. Everything is precise, everything is balanced, as it should be. And then at the end, you get to eat yourself a little treat. It's beautiful. If there's anything else that you think I should bake, let me know. I can't guarantee that I'll make a video out of it, but I'll definitely try my best at baking it, and then I'll post it on my Instagram, which you can follow either at HeyI'mNateYT or whatever else I change the main account one to once I figure out what that channel is gonna be. So now that we've got all that done, we're going to be adding a quarter cup of milk,
Slurp.
followed by a tablespoon of milk,
Slurp again.
followed by 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Also, another fun fact, in my mind, every time I read vegetable, there's like a good 50-50 chance I'm reading it vegetable. Something I grew up doing, typically just as a bit, and then it became an unironic thing, and whoops. There are 0 eggs in this thing. Can you believe life is truly a miracle? Yeah, this is working. We have actual cake in the fridge from the Cheesecake Factory. Like, there's professionally made cake ready to eat right now in the fridge. But I've also had like a baking itch for the past like couple weeks, ever since I started watching the Great British Baking Show. So from here, we're gonna grab a new spoon, and it's just to add like a tablespoon of Nutella. I don't actually look. I just sort of grab a spoonful, plop it on in, which will make a nice gooey chocolate center. I'm sure that looks lovely. And then on top of that, just to add a little bit of extra chocolatey-ness, we're gonna take a small handful of chocolate chips and we're gonna just sprinkle those in on the top. That should add both extra flavor, some nice texture, and an overall pleasing aesthetically pleasing look. I can't think. Alright, and then after all that, we plop this into the microwave for 70 seconds. Just slide that in and sentence it. And so now our main mug cake is done and it looks beautiful. Wow. And so by this point, this is usually where we would have ended it, but I really do like making things very fancy, so we're gonna add a few more things onto this already perfect masterpiece to make it an even masterfuler piece. So we have a little like mace thing for this. Whatever floats your boat, then we really only need just a little bit of this. So we're just going to tap it like that, get that beautiful aesthetic. We add some whipped cream, some ice cream, some raspberries. And so first we're gonna add about a small spoonful of dark chocolate ice cream. Basically what this is gonna do is just as the ice cream is starting to melt, it should create like a nice creamy melted chocolate topping to go on top of our cake. The ice cream itself is pretty cold too, so it should hold up well enough in case I do want to just grab a bite or so of regular ice cream. So we'll plop that over into the corner. It almost looks like a small heart. And then on top of that, we are going to add whipped cream. And this should just kind of make the whole look of it pop out a bit more. And also it's a fun topping. So we'll just some on the side there. Now we are leaving some empty space over on the side for a very specific reason, and it's to add some raspberries. Before we do that, actually, I just thought of this. We'll add a few more chocolate chips. So we're gonna really load this thing up. Okay, now we're gonna add some raspberries. We're picking 4 raspberries because really I just need 3 to go on the side. So we're gonna plop 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna add 1 more as a topping. Please stay. Okay, little messy, but that's alright. We kind of want a messy look to this. Now that I think about it, I might add 1 more raspberry. Make a little pile here on the side. And that's that. And then our final addition to this whole thing is going to be a little bit of cocoa powder on top of the whole thing as a garnish. So we're just gonna tap that, and it makes just a huge mess overall, actually, to be honest. But what I can do is I can probably just add a little bit more confectioner sugar to just tighten the whole thing up. Yeah, something like that. That kind of came out a lot messier than I thought, but maybe more whipped cream. Heck yeah. And that is our morning treat. This is what we got going on here. And so now we'll get to the tasting part of this. It's hard to do this with one hand. Perfect. It's creamy, it's chocolatey, the cake tastes like cake, which it should because it's cake. The raspberries make it all fresh, adds a slight bit of tartness. Overall, 10 out of 10 bake. Please add me to the Great British Bake Off. This is basically my demo reel for it. If you ever need a master professional baker, my email is here probably. I don't know if I want to put my email down. I might. Yes, I'm very desperate to be on the show. I know I'm not British, but here's my email. Thanks for watching today's episode of VEDIM, and I'll see you tomorrow. That's my breakfast sorted out. Time to clean up this mess.